parents were disappointed when I chose a different career path, but a surprise visit to my new home changed everything. I grew up in a family where being a doctor wasn't just a career choice, it was the only option. My parents are both incredibly hardworking people who moved to this country with nothing, and in their minds, medicine was the only guaranteed path to a secure life. When I told them in my second year of college that I wanted to pursue graphic design and digital marketing instead, the silence in the room was louder than any argument we had ever had. They didn't yell, they just looked at me with a kind of deep sadness, like I had intentionally chosen a life of struggle. My father told me very calmly that if I didn't follow the path they had set, they wouldn't be able to support my future financially. He said they needed to save their resources for my younger brother, who was already studying for his medical entrance exams. To them, it wasn't about being mean. It was about what they thought was practical. For the next 5 years, things were strained. I worked 3 jobs while finishing my degree. I started my own small agency from a tiny studio apartment where the heater barely worked. We still saw each other for holidays, but there was always this unspoken tension. They would talk about my brother's residency, and then they would ask me if I was still doing the art thing. Last year, my agency landed a massive contract with a global tech firm. Suddenly, all those 12-hour days and skipped vacations paid off. I didn't say anything to my parents about the money. I just wanted to build something for myself. 3 months ago, I finally bought my first house, a quiet place with a big garden and a sun-filled office. I invited my parents over for dinner last Sunday. It was the first time they had seen where I lived. When the site and they pulled into the driveway, I saw my mom's expression change. She walked through the front door and ran her hand over the kitchen counter, looking around at the high ceilings and the backyard. Dinner was quiet, but it was a different kind of quiet than before. It was the silence of people realizing they had completely misjudged a situation. Halfway through the meal, my dad cleared his throat. He looked older than I remembered. He started talking about the roof on their house and how the repairs were costing more than they expected. Then he mentioned that my brother's medical equipment and extra certifications were becoming a huge financial burden. Finally, he asked me if I could help them out with a significant loan. I looked at them and realized they weren't being greedy. They were just tired. They had spent their whole lives worrying about security, and now they were seeing that the path they feared for me was the one that actually ended up providing it. I didn't bring up the past. I didn't remind them of the day they told me I was on my own. Instead, I just told them I'd think about it. I want to help them because they are my parents, but I also want them to understand that success doesn't only come in one shape. I'm still deciding how to handle the loan, but for the first time in years, I feel like they finally see me for who I am, not just for the career I didn't choose.